Many of us start projects with high enthusiasm, only to watch that momentum fade and leave the work half done. A young carpenter named Marcus lived this cycle daily. He possessed clear talent and no shortage of creative ideas, but he could not seem to finish what he started. His workshop was filled with failures: a chair with 3 legs, a tabletop with no base, all gathering dust in the corners. Marcus was caught in a specific loop. Whenever a project became difficult or tedious, he would abandon it to seek out the excitement of a brand new idea. This pattern meant his workshop served more as a storage space for intentions than a place of creation. Without a way to push through the finish line, his talent remained trapped in these incomplete objects. Marcus eventually received an opportunity to build a hand-carved wedding chest for the mayor's daughter. It was a high-stakes commission that could have established his career. He began the work with intense focus, making significant progress over the first 2 weeks as his initial motivation carried him forward. But as the work became repetitive, his focus fractured. He convinced himself he needed to work on a smaller project first, just to clear his head. Days turned into weeks. By the time the wedding day arrived, the chest was still half-carved. Marcus lost the job, the income, and the trust of his community. He realized that being the man who almost did something great was the same as doing nothing at all. Relying on fleeting passion had led to a complete professional collapse. Seeking a solution, Marcus visited an old master carpenter named Samuel. In Samuel's shop, everything was orderly and purposeful. There were no piles of scrap wood or half-built chairs. Samuel picked up a block of wood and began to carve. He told Marcus to remove everything that was not the spoon. He viewed the process as a series of deliberate subtractions. The goal was to reveal the finished piece by methodically taking away what wasn't needed. If he stopped halfway through, the wood would be ruined, worthless to the customer, and a waste of the material. Samuel's lesson was simple. A completed, humble spoon has more value than 1,000 intricate but unfinished masterpieces. Every project has a life cycle: start, middle, and end. At the start, initial excitement creates a steep spike. Then the line crashes into the messy middle, a valley of friction where most projects die before the satisfying end phase. Many people misinterpret this drop in motivation. They assume they have chosen the wrong project, rather than recognizing it as an expected part of the creative process. Overcoming procrastination is not about recapturing that initial excitement. It is about committing to a process that carries you through the friction of the middle. Samuel gave Marcus a specific mechanical rule to follow for the next 30 days. First, Marcus had to choose just one simple project. All other ideas were to be ignored until that one task was complete. The core of the rule was a daily commitment. He had to touch that project for at least 10 minutes every single day, without exception. He had to do this when he was tired, when he was bored, or had a better idea. The 10-minute rule acts as a behavioral bridge. It maintains progress during the dead zone of the project, when motivation is naturally absent. Marcus chose a simple wooden stool. He began the next morning, working for 10 minutes before he had the chance to talk himself out of it. On day 5, he felt the urge to start a new, more interesting design. Instead, he strictly followed Samuel's rule and spent his 10 minutes on the stool. Some days were a struggle, and he stopped as soon as the 10 minutes were up. Other days, simply starting the work created a momentum that kept him in the shop for an hour. By day 23, the stool was finished. Marcus sat on it, realizing it was his first completed project in years. Marcus was not broken or incapable. He just needed to learn that systematic consistency is more effective than waiting for inspiration to strike. Most of us have our own graveyard of abandoned goals and half-read books. These are simply projects that were caught in the messy middle. The first pillar of finishing is accepting that the middle is hard. This friction is not a sign to quit. It is a sign that you are in the thick of the work. Second, finished beats perfect. A completed project offers a result you can learn from, while a perfect intention offers nothing. Third, consistency defeats motivation. Small daily actions bridge the gap between a concept and a reality. Look at your own unfinished projects. Choose one and commit to the 10-minute rule for the next 30 days. To build something lasting, we must stop the cycle of starting and master the quiet discipline of finishing.